Alright, guys. Can you all hear me? Cooking dubstep stream manager. Oh my word. Hello, hello. A few technical issues in it. And I think we're still not quite there, to be honest, but we're just going to roll with it because that's what we got to do. Howdy, boys. How y'all doing there? Let's see. Soup time. Soup o'clock. Wouldn't be a proper stream without a bit of tech issues. Well, there is that perspective, I suppose. It's not one thing, it's another. Anyway, the problem is the microphone. Which are you getting me through this ASMR mic here? Is ASMR working for us? Is that working? Even if I walk over here, does that work with you? Does ASMR work over here? I think it does actually. Now it's working. Subscribe at tier 1. Thank you, Polar Pandy. Oh my goodness. I'm getting subscribers. I'm so excited. What does the fridge sound like? Should we have a chat with Frida? Can you hear Frida? She even chuckled. She was amused by that. So here's the situation. We're going to make a soup. I had to have something to eat though. I've got some dirty rice in it, and San Pellegrino. I have not tried this one. Melongrana arancia. So pomegranate and orange. Here we go. Oh my God, Polar Pandy, thank gifted tier 1 sub. Woohoo! Thank you, Ryumi, for I reached the affiliate. Alison subscribed at tier 1. Mego, awesome. Get loved. Thank you. Level 4. I don't know what that means. These are all very exciting things to me. Cheers. Hey, first time chatter, Goethe94. Thank you, Polar Pandy, for that. It's rattling through. Oh yeah, I had it on last night as well for those who but you know, whatever, you can wear clothes a couple of days in a row, can't you? They get stinky, you wash them. Oh my God, everyone's gifting tier 1 subs. Look at this. Thank you, Draconi. Hot damn, so much love. Anonymous gift for the Outward Bard. Wow. Cool. Loving this. So many subs. We love soup, apparently so. Some people don't know. As I said last time, a bit strange to me. Hey, Dugai. You're watching on the TV, Alison. Is that a mistake? Someone just gifted her a sub. Okay, well, lucky roommate. Thank you, CEO Radish. Not Kira got gifted a sub. Sub for soup. Oh, sub sandwiches. Oh, maybe we could make sandwiches one day. I do love a good sandwich. Yeah, we're going to need some badges and such. What's everybody's favorite sandwich? Do you have a favorite sandwich? Let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. How's that? Much more respectable lighting conditions. Thick, juicy tomato sandwich yesterday. Ah, yes, one of them. BLT, classic. Not a big fan of the tomato sandwich myself. I do like a bit of tomato on stuff, but just on its own. But some people do just go for that. Cheddar Plowmans. Oh, yeah, get in. And white bread only. Depends on the sandwich. Surely. Pastrami on rye with some sauerkraut. And a little bit of mayo, mustard spread on there. Got to be rye. Reuben pastrami. There we go. Fiasco. Hi, first time chatter. Someone indeed is doing God's work. What's Tufel? What's Tufel, Polar Bandy? Tuna. The red wine vinaigrette. Okay. Pear brie and prosciutto. Oh my word. I like to do tuna cheddar melt. Crisp bread has its uses, lasts long. Sure, back of the cupboard. Does toast Hawaii count? Why not? I guess so. It is a bread-based thing with stuff on top. One could call that a sandwich. Truffle. I see. Okay, that was a spell check, probably doing you a favor there. Does doner count as a sandwich? Oh, does it? Maybe, in the loosest sense of the word, I guess. But no, I don't think so. I think sandwich would indicate a bread loaf which has been Fountain 1403 is gifting. Look at that. Get in there. First time chat. Bernardina Heart. Vegemite sandwich and lettuce. Okay. Meat, veggies, sauce between bread. Yes, it is, but I think it needs to be a loaf of bread that has been sliced. Would be the definition. If we go back to its origins, actually, Lord Sandwich wanted something to be able to eat while he was playing billiards. And so there's a difference between the open top sandwich and the closed sandwich because you can pick it up with one hand. Can you pick up a shawarma or a kebab with one hand and eat it? Maybe. Well, I don't know. Leberkäsensemmel. Naja, mit ein bisschen Senf, oder? Hot dog has to be a sandwich. We're getting loose now, though. Is hot dog a sandwich? Alison, is a burger a sandwich then? It started its origins as a sandwich. 100%. I don't know what all these things are that's happening, but I like the confetti and stuff flowing down, so keep it up. First time chat. Fakwari. Definitely a hot dog is a sandwich. Banh mi is top tier. Yes, well, there we go. It's a baguette, isn't it? So it's very loose. If a banh mi is a sandwich, then a hot dog is a sandwich, and therefore probably a kebab is a sandwich. All right. Roast beef, blue cheese, crumbles, marinated red onions on sourdough. Shut up. Shut up. That is a great sandwich fountain 1403. Congrats to Dad for reaching. What have I done? Yes, for reaching affiliate. Absolutely. Hello, first time chat. Savs. Burger is absolutely a sandwich. Have you ever seen how they make them? There's a couple of burger places in the States. They still do it on bread. It is just a meat patty and bread, isn't it? And those buns just came along later. Someone gifted 25 people a sub here. That happened. What? Get out. Oh my word. Tacos are sandwiches. Wow. I did not expect that to come up today. Fiasco, probably tacos a sandwich. If we follow this logic down, why not? Thank you, anonymous gifter, whoever that is. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really don't quite understand what's going on, but I think it's good for everyone. For me, for you. There are sandwiches everywhere with those with pure hearts to love and innocent eyes to see. Very poetic, Alison. I agree with you. 25 bomb down indeed there, Lebron. Nothing beats a British crisp sandwich. Oh, get in. Let the discussion start. Crisps on sandwiches, or as everybody else would like to call them, chips. If you've never tried it, you're missing out. In fact, Mumpsman and I were discussing this on Thursday after the stream. Prawn cocktails, crisps on a sandwich. Sandwich made of lettuce and spread. Yeah, I'm sorry. Is that a sandwich? The low carb sandwich with the lettuce? I get it, but you know, and there's so many gluten-free alternatives if you want to go down that route. Salt and vinegar crisps, they do add a punch indeed. Oh, here's a English pub thing that you don't see so often these days. Is pickled eggs. Farkvari, thank you so much. Farkvari, what was I saying? Where was I? Oh yeah, so the pickled egg in a bag of ready salted crisps, and you shake it up. Crisps get a bit soggy, but it's so good. Lils, it depends on the sandwich. Not every sandwich you can't do white with every sandwich. You need the pastrami needs the rye. I think it really does. You silly little Brits and you silly little foods, you all enchant me so much. Well, don't knock it till you try it. That's what I say. Okay, chat. We're gonna start, and the first thing I'm gonna do is gonna put the oven on. And let me just turn this around a little bit. There we go. The reason being, hang on, even better. The reason being, not everybody does this, but I like to give my bones and meat a bit of a roasting. And thank you for the sub, Lord's Swordplay. Or is it Lord's Wordplay? First time chat. Welcome. Over 107 viewers. Bingo. Nice. Hi Nelia. Make sure you hear servers Servus, Grüße, and enjoy making the soup. Absolutely. Are you Austrian? I'm going to do this right. Exactly, CEO. You got it. I like to make my broth a bit darker. That's why we're roasting up the meat and the bones. All right, I'm going to turn the oven on. Hot. We're going to go for 190. For the old school money out there, that is 375 Fahrenheit. She's a noisy one, but that's okay. Put the rack near the top. Get myself a roasting tray. Remember, no soap on these bad boys. Just hot water. I was so happy. Got to the farmer's market this morning. €4. €4 a leek. 4 absolutely gorgeous. What were they? Topaz apples. If you've never had oh my god, they're so good. In fact, maybe we'll have a little snack during the stream. 1 massive celeriac and 2 big carrots, €4. If you did that in the supermarket, I don't think it would be anywhere near the same price. Cheryl, what are we doing? I'm cleaning up. Go on the floor there. Bye, paper bag. See you later. The leek will want to clean, won't it? So, peeler. Back to the discussion of knives. This one, I find it's a little thicker on the blade. I've got 3 prep knives. They're all slightly different shapes, as you can see. I have to say, for general purpose, I find this is my favorite. It's got a little bit of a point. You can see it's been blunted off by sharpening. This one for fine work, it's a much thinner blade. And then this one obviously has got a pointy edge for getting in there. So, but I prefer old red here for general purpose, especially with the celeriac, the root, because that's a little bit on the tough side. Anyway, back to the meat. What she said. I had a hell of a time running around, folks. I found a pineapple on the way, though. Who doesn't like a pineapple? Might get into that. I do love fruit. Where are my bones? So I could not find ossobuco or what's it in German again? Beinshiner. Rumi, help me out here. The cut off the shin. The Czechs sell it Beinscheibe. There we go. Which is a beautiful shape, and has got the bones in it. You see, and they're cut through, so you get the marrow out. However, all is not lost because we got ourselves some ribs, and I went to the butcher's this morning. I hasten to add, by the way, if there are any vegetarians out there, you can make this recipe with veg broth, of course, all substitutable. And we'll talk about stocks in another stream, and we will do a full veg stock as well. Ossobuco. So, first things first, though, I'm going to get everything cleaned up. This is where I might employ open here. Really? Just pull that. Tesco doing smart packaging. And what is going on here? I have not seen this pack before. Okay. So this is rib, right? So again, we're going to get some bone, all that marrow in there. Very nice. This is weird. This is a packaging I've not yet seen before. Get those in the bin. Get those in the bin. Get those in the bin. And then because the broth takes a while to cook, I might do a bit of reading today. Thank you, Rumi. There we go. Got some facts coming up. I love this. Yeah, it's a great cut. Thing about shin, it needs to go. You need to go slow. So this is just. This actually is the meat off the shin. Let's get that out of the bag. But they just don't do it on the bone here. And there's some fat in there and whatever else. There's all those tendons and whatever. It doesn't matter because we're doing soup, and actually we want all that extracted out because that's where we get the collagen from, and we get all the minerals and all the rest of it. I might trim a bit of this off to start though. Go in the sink now. Oven's almost hot, and then we've got some marrow bones. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness, so lovely. Cold water. Wash, wash, wash. For some recipes, like pho, which I guess we'll get to pho, whatever you want to call it. They also recommend cooking all the meat up, the bones up, discarding the water first, because there is it makes it a little cloudier, right? And that's okay. I think I'm not so bothered by that. It depends on what you're doing. Romi's probably got some thoughts about that. And the difference between your broths and your consommes and stuff. All right, so that's fat down there. Oh, we like the fat. We will skim a bit off at the end. But here we've got this kind of sinewy stuff. We'll try and get rid of some of that. Work with the knife away from you, isn't it, children? They say, and then sometimes work towards you and ignore the rules. This needs a sharpen, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But we'll live with it for today. The only reason I'm taking this off is because I don't want it at the end, because there is a bit of meat on there. I would like to be able to just take that off and not worry. As you can see, I'm not exactly the most refined butcher, but right, isn't it? You live and learn. It's fun. It's a nice skill, but not one I'm particularly good at, and it doesn't help that this knife is a little on the blunter side. My mum insists on using a blunt knife, and just like, because if it's sharp, it might cut you. I'm like, that's the point. They recommend using a sharper knife, actually. Hang on, what we cut? I'll tell you what. It's going to get thrown in the pot, but separate, so we can get all the collagen out. But then the meat at the end will not be covered in this layer. That's all right. We'll roast that up. Get it in there. Hacking at it, as you can see, I'm no expert at the butchery. I might have a better knife for this, actually, but we're here now, and you work with what you got, don't you? So this cut off, that we'll discard. Almost there. There we go. That'll do. How are we doing? Got my phone. I need to silence my phone. How am I going to do that? Oh, whatever. Guess we'll live with it. Leave it like that. Sod it. So I'm just washing it in a bit of cold water, and then can't really see that at the minute, can you? Hang on. Let me see if I can turn you around real quick. There you go. And it just gets rid of the old blood and all the bits and bobs, right? Bye bye. And just give it a little dry because we want it to roast, right? So we don't want it to be too wet going into the oven. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right. Okay. And it goes. Oven's up to temperature. That would probably take, I don't know, 10 minutes, I guess. We just want it to brown up. Back to the chopping board, yeah? Cool. I'm going to give that a clean now in the sink. I've just moved the camera. That's really not very helpful. I am a little conscious of meat and bacteria and stuff. Other people will just say, "I'll crack on," but I like to keep it clean. Also, besides which, I'm going to be using that bowl for pancake batter in a bit. Get the bowl clean at least. I use, of course, each to their own. I use a vegetable-based dish soap, which you can also use to wash fruit and vegetables. Which you don't always need to do, but like if I'm using citrus fruit, for example, they're pretty easy just to clean with a bit hard skin, so you can give them a clean. No problem, innit? Okay, the recipe. I don't even know where the recipe is anymore. I should probably look it up. Somewhere. Or someone help me out. Can you? How many grams of celeriac did I say? What was the reply to Bublinar there? What was the question? Yeah, exactly. Fountain 1403. You're right with a knife. If you've got a blunt knife stuff, yeah, that's my opinion, but whatever. Um, my friend managed to cut cutting board. Sure, paper cuts, man. Cuts are real. I cut. I shit you not. I cut a piece of my thumbnail off on a piece of plastic something or other the other day, like some box. Pre-boiling the meat. What does that do for us? Yeah, yeah. It's not necessary. Exactly. It depends on what you want. Um, well, skill issues. There was something about skill issues. I've not done any HEMA lately. Sadly, they changed the time of the class, and I'm a bit stuck. But that's what it is. Anyway, let's keep up with this. Back to the dish soap though. Yeah, so you can wash veg. You can also use bicarbonate soda on, let's say, softer fruits. It's quite good. And then you can just rinse that off, or you can rinse it in a little bit of vinegar, but actually also the bicarb helps with the color sometimes, as does vitamin C, but that's a different topic. All right, let us put the bowl back over here. I'm just going to boil the kettle here, make myself some tea. And get on with the veg. Does anybody have the recipe there in front of them? Do we add the nail to the soup? Absolutely. Oh, bay leaf, take it out. No, here's the thing, Fountain. When I go to a restaurant, I am always so happy when I get the bowl of soup or whatever dish with the bay leaf in it, because I'm like, yes, this person's actually bothered to cook, right? The bay leaf always to me is like a sign. So I mean, maybe they cheat. Um, put it there for the nail flavor. Does anybody have the recipe on of them? Equal parts to what? Carrot. Ah, yeah, maybe so. Well, I've got two massive carrots, so I want you to start with them. I was going to eyeball it, to be honest. It said like 160 grams, I think, but I don't normally cook by weighing. I look at what I've got in front of me. This is look at this, ridiculous. Hey, come on, show me. Yes, the tea bag thing is good. I've got a little sieve actually that I like to use. I'll show it to you. It's like a tea strainer thing for making tea. So very similar, but I've never used it for tea before. We got the peeler, you got the peeler. We gonna make the peeling nice. Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, the quantities I mentioned in the recipe, by the way, are kind of. I looked at some recipes. Some said 4 portions, some said 6. I kind of bumped it up a bit, so this should make probably 8 portions. Oh yes, horses and carrots. Absolutely. Did we talk about this? That some horses have allergies to apples. We talked about this, no? Can, can mango have a matching hat? I'm not sure he'll like it. You should see trying to get the harness on him, taking him for a walk. He doesn't even like that. Even though he's going for a walk, he's like, "Get out of it! Get out of me!" He's a little bit like um. Oh God, names of actors. Not Robert De Niro. Who's the other one? Was in Godfather. Keep my little Al Pacino. He's Al Pacino in Scarface or something. He's like, "Don't touch me, eh?" Well, that's what Mango's like. Am I peeking out with the mic, by the way? Do we need to adjust the mic level a little bit? It's fine. Perfect. All right, my kettle is boiled. What kind of tea am I making, Michael? I'm going to make ginger. I'm going to make some ginger tea. Got myself some fresh ginger. I sometimes put ginger in my beef broth, by the way. I'm following the Austrian style here. If I were to make my own beef broth, I often bung a good chunk of ginger in. But hey ho. Okay. Mm-mm. Did you know you can just scrape it? I used to peel it, and then I saw a video. You can just use the back of a small spoon to scrape the skin off. Oh, all that time you waste less as well. Okay. 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 We're doing beef broth right now. You're planning to add ginger? You can do. We're just going with the Austrian recipe, which doesn't include it. You know, this is for my tea. This is for my tea. Good. We right back. Do you know what? I might get a little frisky here. Might even put a couple of cloves in there as well. Oh, I really got into cloves recently. Sometimes they'll go in my soup as well, but we're in different territories today. I said one large onion, did I not? I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go with two. Crazy man. Two onions. Also, garlic would typically go in for me, but it's not included in the recipe, so it's not going to go in. But I do like a bit of garlic. Okay. Got my little biomülltonne. If you can compost, compost. If you can't, don't. But it's quite handy. You could also get yourself what are they called now? Bokashi? Something like that. There's a Japanese thing. There's like a kind of bacteria thing. You can put scraps in. Helps putting the hot water on the tea, Michael. Numpty. Or you can get yourself some worms. Vermiculture. Okay. Oh, I'm smelling the bones now. Smelling that meat coming from the oven. That's a good sign that they're crisping up. Okay. And again, it's interesting reading recipes. When you eventually start cooking more, if you're not into cooking yet, hopefully this will encourage you, which is why I wanted to start a cooking channel ages ago. Slow it down. But one method I saw, which is also something quite crucial to the fart again, is browning the onions. So actually, this recipe that I found So just cutting them in half, which we'll do, and putting them into a dry pan until they brown up at the bottom before adding in your meat and fat and getting the rest going. What is the name of that browning action? Do you know what it is, Rayumi? There's an expression for it. I'm going to see if I can look it up right now. Browning action of food. Food browning. Oh, it just doesn't say it here, does it? Oh. Oh, right. Yeah, you can brown all the veggies. We're going to go along those lines. Getting called Chip. The Maillard reaction. Thank you. There it is. Who got that? Fountain. Lovely. Well, caramelizing would be within that, but any browning. So when you roast stuff or toast bread, even same thing, because there's something that happens with the enzymes, the proteins, the sugars, and that is why that stuff, like from the barbecue and so on, is so delicious, because it does something for us. All right, almost there. Our leek needs a clean. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this whole leek. Let's see how we go. I might use most of it. One way to do this, obviously top and tail, unless they're really brown, this can all go in, right? I mean, I often just trim off the ends a bit for the sake of it, but to be honest, if you're making a stock, it wouldn't really matter. But for our purposes, so one way I've been shown to clean up is if you cut here. I can't remember, some TV chef. This has now not got mud in it, right? Well, that bit has there. Maybe not. And then what you do is you just flip the leaves until they're all layered like that. Right? And you can see there's mud and water. But then, when we run the tap, we can just run that away. And then it will end up nice and clean. That's it. Easy peasy. And you could even do that in a sink full of water. If you've got two sinks, right? I would fill one with cold water if I was prepping, and just clean veggies in there, and all the hard bits, the sediment settles to the bottom. You know what? I think we are going to use this whole leek. Why not? I could not find lovage, by the way. Fresh lovage, that is. So we'll use dry. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. Leave them in there for now, though. Gronky draw. I did, however, find this discount price. Discount, very nice. Some fresh thyme. We're not going to want much for this. It's quite strong. Got to be careful with the herbs, especially dried stuff. It can be overpowering. But I do love thyme very much. We're going to stick a good sprig in there. Why not? And parsley, flat leaf parsley is very common in Central Europe. Curly parsley is fine. Either way. And some of it's going to go in the broth to cook. And then we're also going to chop some to finish for a wee garnish. Didn't get any chives. So thyme, give it a rinse. Job's good. And Then we'll get our veg prepped. The problem is getting it from the supermarket is they always just crunch it up. It kind of pisses me off. So what I like to do is pick out the smaller broken bits, because obviously we're not going to use all of this today. So I just sort through it a little bit. You see, they just bend over the stalks like that. I mean, isn't that just freaking annoying? Stalks going to go in the soup. These ones, smaller, nice stalks, they're going to get put in a glass of water. That's a bit mushed up, right? That's going to brown off, so in the pot it goes. What did I say? With 3-4 sprigs is a sprig, right? We can use 3 of those. So 3 are going to go in the pot, and then we'll save some nicer ones for chopping up and putting on the plate. So again, give those a rinse. And last but not least, leasty, leasty. I mean, leasty lasty. Are you a nasty leasty lasty or a leasty nasty lasty? No laughing at the back, thank you. Set this aside for later. We forgot the celeriac. So what do you do with this then? Because I'm not going to use all that. What I do is I put it in a tray and I dry it out rather than buying stuff in a packet. At least you get to use it fresh when you need it. And I do use thyme a lot, so that's fine. Okay, by the way, FYI, what are you going to do with the rest of this? What are you going to do with the meat from this broth? You're going to make a ragu, Italian style ragu, tomorrow with some pasta, gluten free or gluten as is your want, or you can make a chili con carne, for example. That meat's already cooked, it's going to be tender. You just add some sauces and flavors to it. It's going to be awesome. And of course, we're going to use some of the broth in that as well. Double trouble. Okay, and these bits, kind of fresh, small. I'll stick them in a glass. They'll last a few days normally. Cut the ends off though, so it draws up the water. Draws up the water like. And now I need a jar. I've cleaned all my jars away. That'll do. Ta-da. On the shelf. So back to the celeriac. I'm going to use half the celeriac, I think. It's a very distinct flavour. One can, it can be quite subtle if you serve it on its own. Hang on, let me get this. It's funny because it's not used in the UK so much. When it is used in the UK, it's normally mashed and then served with stuff. Amazing with venison, or if you had some kind of vegetarian risole or nut loaf, for example, this would go awesome with that. I'm a huge fan of celeriac. When you boil it, you need to leave it in bigger chunks though. The reason being it goes soft quite a lot. And then if you were to mash it, you would need to take it out of the pot, strain it, and let it breathe, because it holds a lot of moisture and that will stay in your mash, and you don't want that. So if you cook it for mash, yeah, Most of the flavor is drenched out in the liquid, exactly. But we'll use some of the broth for our ragu, and you can always cut that down. But it's true. It's the same with the vegetables as well, right, Rumi? It's a shame to throw them away. I normally chop them small and put them back in my soup. Or you can even, what's the word I'm looking for? I've tried making like a terrine, like a little pate out of it before, which works as well. But anyway, whatever. Or you chuck it away. But yes, I mean, you'll find most big kitchens actually are making their stocks just using all the offcuts and stuff that's then washed and bunged in, stuff like that, right? There's nothing wrong with that actually. It doesn't look pretty as long as there's no dirt or mud on it. If you've washed that off, that they can just go in the stock pot. That's why they put whole onions, just chopped in half, and the garlic still in the peel. There's no point because you're gonna strain that off anyway. For this broth though, because we're wanting to serve that straight away, we do want to have a bit of a clean up. Here's the baby knife coming into view, saving your life, baby knife. Oh, they're tough old beasties. You could get a bigger knife for this, Michael. Why would I want to do that? Here we go. Equal parts onion, carrot, and celery. And oh, look at that. Oh, that smell. Oh, so good. Choose the bigger half. Look, right? I think so. But we'll need to give it a peel up. Where's my knife? 3 knives and I can't find them. Okay. So that stuff at the bottom, although it's quite nice and clean. Thank you. You can't really use a peeler on this, I'm afraid, because it's a bit too tough. There we go, the slightly gritted teeth. There's another way of doing this. If you don't feel comfortable chopping freehand, you can put it on the. Where's the camera? What's going on? There. You can cut flat on the board. You do quarters as well, and then just slice away like that, right? Nice and safe. This is also a way to go with pumpkins if you want to peel a pumpkin. Although, of course, actually you can eat the skin, as you can eat the skin on most things. It's just whether it's visually pleasing. Vegetables, that is. Potatoes, sweet potatoes. You know, a sweet potato, unlike the common potato, for want of a better expression, but sweet potato, you can eat all parts of the plant, including the roots and the sprouts and whatever else. Okay. And then we just get in there and clean that up a little bit. Okay, good enough. And for this, I'll just chop it into, let's say, sixths, right? Like yay. Something like that. And the carrots we're going to chop into kind of equal size rounds, like so. Doop 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 doop. Doop 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 doop. Good stuff. And the leek, leaving the slightly bigger parts. Bouquet de garni, a French way of doing the herbs rather than the tea bag method that Ryumi was mentioning earlier, is you need some kitchen string, but you can put your herbs and spices in there, and then you make a little parcel, and you wrap that all up with some string, and then you go in the soup it goes. But we're not going to do that. But anyway, cut these in half. Wish, bosh, bash. All the flavour's going to come out anyway. And our onions in half. And that's it. Pretty simple, hey? And obviously we've been chatting, but that can get done in, what, 15, 20 minutes? Maybe? 20-minute prep time, most of those recipes online say. And you can, of course, if you want to, actually pre-prepare all this and pop it in a freezer. And you can buy soup packs. This is one of the things about Czech supermarkets actually, is you can buy soup packs where they have all of this pretty much ready to go. Onion, bit of garlic, some parsley, celeriac, carrot. It's your base. It's your base for a vivar or some kind of broth, brûe, whatever you want to add to it, whether it's just more vegetables, chicken, fish, beef. That's it. So there we go, folks. That's our veg ingredients. So let's talk two further things. Firstly, our spices or herbs. Bay leaf. I've recently rearranged my spice rack here. I'm so excited about this. Pimento or allspice, black pepper. Oh, I'm so tempted to use a bit of nutmeg. Don't do it. Okay, stick to the recipe. And what did we say? Do I have lovage? I don't think I have lovage in a jar. So I did buy some. That's for basil. Maybe there was something else. You see, I knew I needed some extra jars. All right, but I bought some. Salt, of course. We're going to get into the salt conversation in a second. And if you wanted to, and we're going to, because I'd like it, we're going to stick some juniper berries in as well. I didn't put that in the recipe, to be honest. So if you don't have them, let's not put them in. I'm not going to do what you don't have. So I didn't put them on the recipe. As I said, I have this wee thing. Where are we? Where are you, little tea strainer thingy-majingy? Here it is. It's been with me for a while. It lost its little chain on one side, so I used a stainless steel paper clip, and you can hang it on the side of stuff if you want. And it's just a way of keeping your herbs and spices out of your drink. So 2 to 3 bay leaves. It really depends on the size, right? Like I would count that as 1 bay leaf, those 3 little bits there. 2, 3 biggies. Again, this is all play by ear. Something like 20 to 30 peppercorns. I'm not going to count them. That's 10. That's 20. That's 30. So I normally just go by on my hand. Someone showed me years ago to measure dry tea like that. This would be 1 teaspoon of tea, roughly. So if you were making a pot of tea, you would do 1 of these each, whatever, you get the idea. So let's count actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's more like 40. Who cares? Bang them in. I like pepper. And then 20 or so pimento, allspice. Not crushed, whole. In it goes. And now let's talk dry herbs versus fresh. That is a lot of parsley, admittedly, but I love it. Again, though, for this, I would ratio out like a teaspoon. That'll be enough. And so if I was doing dried herbs, I would do a teaspoon of, half a teaspoon of thyme. There's Libby check, right? Let's measure it out actually. How far off am I? There's a teaspoon. Job's good. In it goes. Some of that's going to come out because it's not that tea bag, but that's okay. And that's it. We're good to go. Oh, it smells so good. Lovage. Okay. I guess we need to move over to the pot. And talking about pots, today I will be using. I have this. It'll take about 5 liters. It's my small stock pot. Obviously, they can get bigger than this. Just because I don't know what you have at home. And of course, again, all these things can be done in different ratios. If you have it, and it does make things a little quicker, you can use a pressure cooker. I do have one actually. The thing about it is, if you don't have one, then obviously you might not know how to do this if it's the first time making the soup, or if you're not that confident cooking. So we're just going to use a big old pot. So I'm going to rearrange a little bit. Get my camera moving over here. Get my camera setup moved over. Get the steam cam almost ready. Is this going to work? My battery doing? Not very good. Oh dear. We might have to just go to the mic on the phone in a bit, guys, because we're having some tech issues, as I mentioned earlier. Ah! It's all falling around. Oh dear. Clattering around. Okay. This is maybe my favorite camera angle. All right, how's that? Okay. Here you are. You can see up into my greasy extraction hood. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to sort a few things out here. Bit of honey in my tea. Just give me 2 shakes here. I need to fix something real quick. All right, guys, we're still here. Go to sleep. Where are you, Bernardina? By the way, if you can get it, this orange pomegranate one. Oh my god, I thought the blood orange was my favorite. Hey, good night, Bernardina. Bernardina, how do you want me to say that? Bernardina, from Australia, 2:30 a.m. Oh, okay. Well, hey, listen, this will be on YouTube and VOD for a week, so if you want to catch the rest. Um, oh no, I seem to have accidentally made tacos. Oh, I know that feeling, accidentally making tacos. The worst. Oh my god. Oh my god, accidental tacos on a Saturday night. I've not done this with the onions before, so let's see what happens. Flat side down. Gonna brown them up. Ooh, makes you burp, doesn't it? What else do I need? Lid. And I would normally go butter. However, 20 centimeters of snow. I'm gonna use oil today. And there should have been some rendered off the what do you call it? There should have been some rendered off the beef anyway. So we'll see. Yeah, my laptop, my poor little laptop. Oil better for sharp roasting. Yeah, I'm not roasting that. It's already roasted. This is for the pan here. Let's talk salt. I mean, salt is salt, right? Salt is salt. A little bit of lag there. You just burn the butter, not necessarily. No, if you've got it at a low heat, if you've got a thick enough bottom of the pan, and your ingredients going quick enough, you will not necessarily burn the butter. Yeah, it's lagging. Are we lagging? Yes, we are. Ooh, pan's getting hot. Sorry, I don't know how quickly this goes. Okay, got to keep an eye on that. Salt is not just salt. If you buy table salt, it's got additives in it. Different salts can be used in different applications. However, they also have different minerals in. And of course, we have a big conversation about minerals, which is why I like to use different salts. Himalayan Celtic sea salt, which is very popular. This is rock